Hello, my name's Stuart, and another eBay video. I'd like to give you some advice which I hope will save you money. Now, obviously with all the Royal Mail problems we've been having in the UK, your overseas shipments, you could find that you're losing out and getting absolutely nothing because eBay in their wisdom only allow you 5 to 7 days for European shipments from your shipment date. So for Royal Mail International Standard, whether tracked or untracked, you've only got between 5 and 7 days to deliver. I think that is absolutely disgraceful, because you know as well as I do that when you use Royal Mail International Standard or tracked service, 5 to 7 days is very optimistic. It's usually more like 2 to 3 weeks. So what happens is, say you're on 3-day dispatch, you send out the same day you get the order, and after 10 days there's no delivery. The buyer is going to open a case. Now, when an item not received case is open, you've typically have between 3 and 5 days to resolve. Now, there's nothing much you can do. Obviously, once you've posted, what can you do? There's no point throwing good money after bad and sending out another item. Quite often you find that with people who start item not received cases, what do they want as a resolution? Invariably they want a refund, and they want it now. Now, there are some buyers who will say that they still want the item, and then you can get back to them and say, give them information. When was it posted? How was it posted? Ask them to wait. Ask them to wait a few more days. And sad to say that when those few days are up, you really don't have much choice but to refund. Now, what I do, well, okay, first of all, I was having this problem for years. People overseas opening cases and wanting refunds. And frankly, once you've sent a refund, that's it. The money's more or less gone forever. That item will probably turn up. You'll never get the money for it, because the buyer will forget they've had a refund, or I don't know, they'll think it's come late and they'll keep it anyway. Very rarely will they contact you and say, oh, it's arrived, I want to pay for it. They do sometimes, say 1 in 10 times. But once you've paid a refund, you've lost everything. You've lost your product, you've lost the money, you've lost all the time you spent packing it. And it's what I call a dud order. It's an order that just went wrong and you lost money on, and it drags down your profits. You've got to try and minimize them. You have got to try and resist giving a refund. But first of all, prevention is better than cure. I'll tell you what I've done. I got fed up with seeing your funds are on hold due to a case. A buyer has opened a case, blah blah blah, etc., etc. And you've got maybe you've got 6, 7, 8, 9 cases open at any one time. I was getting fed up with it, particularly overseas orders. So you know what I did? Right, here's what I did. First of all, I'm on 10-day dispatch. That's right, 10-day dispatch. I'm also on Royal Mail International Economy shipping. I've got a minimum 3 to 4 weeks to deliver. Most destinations around the world, I've got like 2 months to deliver. Since I did that, I can tell you, my item not received cases from abroad have virtually disappeared. It's like bliss. It's absolutely fantastic. And here's some more good news for you. Here's some more good news. 9 customers out of 10 do not look at dispatch times, and they do not look at shipping method. I know, because a lot of people have bought from me and they've only later seen, oh, I see that it's 2-month delivery, or it's economy shipping. And then I will say to them, well, actually, no, I usually send it faster than 10 days. I send it by international standard. I do that to cover myself, because who knows, it could well take up to 2 months to arrive. But in your case, obviously, it should be faster than that. So the point is that most people do not look at these dispatch times, and they do not look at a shipping method. The 1 in 10 customers that do, they're the customers you don't want. Let them go. People that are in a hurry to get stuff, let them go. You can do without that kind of business, because more often than not, that kind of business ends up in a refund. So forget that. You want the 9 out of 10 buyers who are not in a big hurry. Now look, I buy on eBay. I'm not in a big hurry to get stuff. It comes when it comes. That's my attitude. Place an order, and you know, I start looking out for it maybe. I mean, if it's UK, I start looking maybe after a week. Maybe if it hasn't arrived within 2 weeks, I might go and look and see when it's been posted. But generally, I'm quite easy with it. I'm the 9 out of 10 customers that you want to trade with. The 1 out of 10, the people who contact you and say, "Can you send this today?" No, they're the customers you don't want. "I want this quickly. Ship it to me by overnight." No, thank you. You want to block those people. Get them out of your life. They're just they're going to either start a return, or they're going to want a refund. They're going to start a case. You're going to lose your money. So my advice, go for 5-day dispatch or 10-day dispatch. And if it's overseas, go for international economy shipping. Buy yourself time to deliver in these times when international postal services are probably worse than they've ever been. They're so inefficient. They will get it there, but they just take time getting it there. Okay, well, that's fine. But what about cases that people are starting on a day-to-day basis? Avoid giving a refund, right? Now, there are buyers who will start a case at the earliest possible time, and they will say, "I've already bought it from elsewhere. I want my money back." That's a tough one. When people say that, I don't really see what option you've got really but to give them a refund. You can wait for the case to almost time out, but when people say that, in other words, they're going to send it back anyway, they don't need it, you're kind of stuck. In those cases, I tend to bite the bullet. I block them first. I never want to deal with them again, and I just write it off. Other occasions, people will say, "It hasn't arrived. I want my money back." You know what you do with those people? Well, I either ignore them and I let the case time out till 1 day before I've got to give a refund. And I've found that when I do that, a lot of the time I'll notice a couple of days later they'll end the case because the item's arrived. It's dropped through the letterbox. There's only one danger in not replying to them. They could leave you with a negative feedback. Not always, but they do sometimes. So my advice is, what you can do is, if they say that, send them a quick message and just say, "Oh, I'm just looking into this. I'll get back to you." Yeah, just to let them know that you're onto it, and then let it time out. You've got, say, 5 days to wait. Those 5 days, you know, 50% of the time it'll arrive, and you won't have to give a refund. But if you just jump in and give a refund straight away, and then the item arrives, I can tell you, you've lost your money. There's no need to do that. Buy the time. eBay give these 3 to 5 days to allow time for the thing to arrive. If somebody starts screaming for a refund, you know, then you'll probably have to give it. But most people don't scream for it and cry and stamp their feet for a refund. Most people will kind of wait for those few days. Do not allow anybody to escalate. Send them an email on the last day, say, "Has it arrived?" And then they will say, "No, it hasn't arrived," and you just refund them. You've got no choice. On the other hand, they might come back and say, "Oh yes, it has arrived," but they might not close the case out. If that happens, let it be. Let the case close out itself. It will take a month to close out, and you'll get your money in the end. You know, you'll be fine. Don't ask them to close it out, because they might mistakenly escalate, and then you're in a complete mess. No. Let the case close out. Don't tell people to close out cases because they press the wrong button. They end up escalating, and then you've got to appeal. It's one big pain in the neck. So that's my advice to you. Avoid giving refunds at all costs, unless somebody's screaming for a refund. If they say they bought it elsewhere or whatever, or they missed the birthday, or you know, anything like that. And for everybody else, wait to the last minute. Allow those extra few days for it to arrive. But take my advice, go on 5 or 10-day dispatch. International orders, go in economy shipping. That's all for now. Hope you enjoyed that, and hope you got some benefit from it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.